6:30 a.m. I am just getting ready to leave, and I'm feeling quite nervous this morning. The distance doesn't make me nervous. It is the temperature of the water, the potential cold. Most of my swims since I've been back swimming in open water have been in relatively warm water. I have swum in really cold water, but it's a very long time ago since I did that. So I hope everything's going to be okay. It'll be a bit of a mind game, I think, and I'll have to have words with myself along the way. But yeah, I heard last night it was between 12 and 14 degrees, and that's pretty cold. I think in England, 14 degrees, below 14 degrees is the cutoff where they will shorten a swim for a triathlon. So for 3.8k in water that cold is going to be a challenge in itself. So wish me luck. I'll see you on the other side. We've swapped legs. This is the temporary socket, and I've been told I've got to be careful with this because it's not quite as strong as a normal leg that's been fabricated, because the top is made of plastic. So I've swapped back to the old leg so that I can navigate beaches and stony uneven ground and stuff like that, and then we'll put this one back afterwards. So I've also got to wear a specific coloured swim hat. Red. It's a shame really, because I've got so many red hats I could have done with the yellow one. And I've also got to wear a timing chip. When I was collected it, they told me I've got to put it on my left ankle. I said no, I can't do that. She said, why not? I said, because I don't have one. She went, what? I don't have a left ankle. So yeah, okay, we'll let you put it on the right ankle. Just as well, really. Race setup. It's a bit dark round here.
We're going to jet boat you out then. So the course, you've got 5 boys to go around. Keeping those.
Male winner, 47 minutes. Female, 52 minutes. Amazing. Queenstown waterfront. The legend race report. Hi. So I thought I would do a wee summary of how the race went. As you could see, it's a bit dark when we got there, actually pitch black. But I found a nice useful seat, as in the edge of a deck to a coffee shop, and I sat there and got changed there and that sort of thing. Found a way to wear the leg and make it easy to walk on whilst wearing the wetsuit under it. All I had to do was take one sock layer off, and I put the old leg on, so it was too big, and waited for them to do the start. We walked across the other end of Queenstown waterfront to the jetty where the jet boats were setting off from, and waited in line. We had 4 jet boats that took all of the swimmers over, 88 in all, that did the, I think it might have been 100 actually, that did the 3.8k. And it was a straight line swim that went from further down Frankton Arm, all the way up the coastline, round the end of Queenstown Gardens and in onto the shore in a straight line. So it makes it look a heck of a lot further, because most triathlons go around in a circle for the swim, and then you do laps. Makes it easier to marshal. So I had a lovely lady with me who was taking charge of returning the leg back to the start after I got on the boat. Now she opted to come with me because, like me, she lives locally. She lives in Queenstown, but like me, I had never been on Lake Wakatipu in a boat. It's when you live nearby, it's something you don't pay to do. It's what the tourists pay to do. So she opted to come with me on the jet boat because she'd never been on the lake. So we were all taken by jet boat all the way down to the start. As we were travelling down, I was like, are we there yet? Oh, are we there yet? Are we not there yet? It seemed like an awfully long way. Everybody got on one side and got off the other, so you had to jump off the side of the boat. Now a lot of them were diving in and things like that, but before they did that, there was all the 4 jet boats lined up, and everybody was standing and waving and things, and they did somebody on a jet ski did a photo of all the jet boats. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that photo comes back like, because that was all the swimmers on the boats before they all jumped off. The boats were then unloaded one by one with all the swimmers that were not wearing wetsuits on the last boat, so they were floating around in the water for the least amount of time. I've never been in Lake Wakatipu, so I had no idea what to expect, but somebody the previous day told me it was 12 degrees and I was feeling quite terrified of the temperature. So you've got no choice but to leap in. When you're doing a beach start, you know, you can mosey in. Oh, it's a bit cold, you know, ease yourself in gently, that sort of thing. But no, get off the boat, jump in. That was the end of that. But once I got past the ice cream brain, which is the brain freeze you get, excuse me, when you your head gets too cold. Once I got past the ice cream brain, then my hands acclimatized to the temperature. It wasn't as cold as I feared it would be. Glad we didn't float around at the start too long. He said, I'm going to leave you there for 5 to 10 minutes to warm up. We're like, 5 to 10 minutes? My warm-up's the first kilometre as I'm travelling that way towards the finish line. What do you mean warm-up? So, yeah, so we were shouted off, 3, 2, 1, go, and off we went. We had to follow the shoreline all the way up the Frankton Arm, and we had to go around the end of Queenstown Gardens and into the shore. So we always had a shoreline to my right-hand side. The boys, I ignored them really, because there was various boys in various places, and there was one we had to cut inside so you didn't cut out an inlet. But other than that, I really didn't look at them because they weren't that helpful. I was just following the shoreline. It was really cool because the shoreline changed constantly. So you've got the mountains over there, and I've got a wooded shoreline over here. You had wooded paths, little private jetties, people sitting on jetties with swinging their feet, private boats, big houses with massive views, people walking along and cinder paths, and people sitting on benches and watching out to sea, and all of the different colours of the autumn leaves on the trees all the way along the shoreline. It was really cool to see. And then there was somebody on a bike that was looking how far the swimmers were going, I think, because I kept seeing this person on a bike appear at various points. So yeah, it was really cool to be able to see all the scenery changing as you travelled along. I had some swimmers ahead of me that I was looking at. They were just a bit too far ahead, and I tried and I tried and I goddamn tried, and I could not catch them. I had no clue if there was anyone behind me, and I didn't really care either. So I was trying hard to catch these swimmers in front. There was someone in a wetsuit. There was one that was not in a wetsuit, and I was pushing a little bit, pushing a little bit, pushing a little bit, and I was starting to catch them. And then they're after on the shoreline all the way around Lake Wakatipu, there's a shelf just under the waterline, and it steeps off. It goes off really steeply, and then there's nothing, because it's the bottom of a valley is what Lake Wakatipu is. That's why the bottom of the lake is lower than sea level. So yeah, there was the shelf, and then it went whew. You had to be careful not to get too close to the shore, or the water was really shallow. And I'm trying to catch this person, and I got a leaf or something got tangled around my goggles, and I tried to get it off because it was flapping in my mouth, and I knocked to the right hand goggle, and water started leaking. It's like, oh damn! So I rolled over onto my back, let it out, turned back round, and of course the person that I'm trying to catch has just got away from me again. So I worked a bit harder. The person in the wetsuit's going like this, going like this. 1 minute they're just there, and the next minute they're 600 metres over there. And I thought, oh, screw you. I'm not going to even look at you. So I'm chasing the person that's not in a wetsuit. I finally caught her and got past her. And then I'm looking at the next person that's a bit further up. I go at my own pace. I don't pay attention to what everybody else is doing, because I know what pace I can swim at. I know when I can push it a bit further. I've got a really good sense of self, and I knew that I'd be able to catch a few people further on down, because I know I can keep a steady pace. So I caught the next person who was in a wetsuit, who was doing their sighting like this, and then they would stop swimming, get up, look around, and then carry on swimming. That's how I caught them, because I don't do that. I just lift my eyes up this far, look where I'm going, and carry on swimming, and look. And so I caught this person too. We played tag for a little while, and then I got past them. Then I got to the end where you come to Queenstown Gardens, and I was warned about the very shallow shelf close to the shoreline, and there was big rocks. Some of them were right out of the water. You could see them. Some were just under the waterline, so you'd be swimming along. A rock right here, and you had to be really careful. And I did get too close to the shoreline at one point, and I actually didn't have enough room to do a stroke. So pulling myself along, let's get away from this edge a bit. And that person back there, I had no idea where they were, whether they'd negotiated it better than me. But when I turned to get into the bay to head towards the finish line, she appeared again on my right. Now, I know that I could swim faster to get to the finish line. I knew there was no point in this because once I got there, I was relying on someone to get me stood up and getting crutches over the line. So she would get past me anyway. So I thought, stuff it, do whatever you like. Anyway, we both got in at around about the same time. I do not know whether she had seen that I didn't have a leg or not. I don't know whether she was looking at that or not. But I got up onto my knees and I was waiting for my handlers to come along with the crutches, and she turned and she got out, she turned and she went like that. Do you need a hand? No, I need a leg. That's what I need. Anyway, she got past, obviously walked across the mat before me, and I didn't give a stuff about that. We got up onto our feet, and there was a photographer standing. Now, every time I see a photographer, I think, oh, they must get the most god-awful view, because the two guys that were trying to get me up off the floor, we had a bit of a struggle, and then they gave me the crutches, but the photographer was standing there. So I lifted my goggles, lifted the chin strap off my hat, and stood and went. And I hope he got the photo, because it would have been a good one. I'm going to have to wait and see. So then I forgot to stop my watch. So I think my finish time was around about what I expected, 1.5 hours. We'll have to see when they put the results up. And I got a massive cheer, and I could hear them all talking about how inspirational it was and things like that. I don't do this for that reason. I do this just for me, because I want to prove that to all those people that told me I couldn't, that I can. You know, I've got self goals, personal goals. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to tick all the things off that I lost when I was injured, and I'm going to get them all back again, right away up to triathlon. We're going one at a time. So we're going to master the swimming and the handler and the getting up off the floor. Then I'm going to go to the bike and master cycling. Then we'll try an aqua bike. After that, we're going to go to a blade once I've gotten used to a prosthetic. And then we're going to try running. That is the plan, Stan. So you just watch out. But I have had a lot of people talking to me in various places, various people saying that they follow me on YouTube. It's a bit weird, but I suppose it's a thing. So thank you to everybody who is giving me support, whether you're virtual or whether you've actually met me. All of that support is just amazing. And I love the fact that I am challenging perceptions of disability. An ambulance, St. John's ambulance man came to talk to me afterwards and said, "You are the epitome of the Wakatipu legend." Now, it's a lovely thing to say, and I thought it was really sweet of him to come and talk to me. And I like the fact that because I've been doing this, I've made it so easy to be approachable and talk to me about it, and you know, all of that. That is working. The t-shirts are working. The online presence is working. And thank you to everybody for that, for not being afraid of coming to talk to me. That's exactly why I'm doing this, because I want to be approachable, because I want this to be something that people are easy to talk about, that we're able to expose more people to disabilities and make it a bit more normalized. But I don't do this to be a hero or anything like that. I just do it to challenge perceptions of disability, because disability does not mean I am disabled. One of my favorite tags on Instagram, hashtags, is disabled but not really. That really kind of sums me up. So that was the Wakatipu legend. There was a wee rumour, I was talking to the organisers afterwards, that they're trying to get a longer swim. If they get it off the ground across the lake, 5K, I'm like, that's only 1.5K more. I'm quite tempted by that. So thank you to everybody who's supported me. Thank you to everybody who's come up and said really lovely things to me. Thank you to all of the race organisers and all of the supporters and all of the volunteers at the legend, and the guys that run it, and Richie especially, for being so awesome and making it all possible and making it just so easy for me to enter an able-bodied race, because it is a bit of an extra little mission when you're disabled. You've got a few extra things you've got to sort out, like your detachable body parts. So thank you for watching, and thank you to everyone who's spoken to me, and I will talk to you soon.